Hey, welcome back to Redstone Run. And today we're going to be learning how to improve any Bedrock, and probably Java, but just to take it with a grain of salt. I don't really play Java as much, but any Bedrock farm that you guys have on your server. So now, the main things that you can go ahead and add to improve, right? The easiest quick tip, right, is having blue ice on the actual sliding platform, right, for your iron golems. So you have, instead of like whatever, like maybe stone, this will increase the rates of how fast the actual iron golems, right, get into the lava, and therefore free up the mob cap. The faster they die, right, the faster they go away, the more iron golems spawn, the more items you get, right? Now, the other big tip that I can give you guys, right, but this is a lot harder, right? Mind you that this is much harder to accomplish. However, it is well worth it, right? So, what's another way that we can go ahead and get rid of these guys as quickly as possible, right? You may ask. Now, the best way would be to put a skeleton, right, to go ahead and start shooting at it. Now, on top of the regular skeleton, we can actually go ahead and get the new bog skeletons, which would add poison damage to the iron golems as they enter the lava, and they're already depleting their HP, with the poison, and then basically the process becomes that much faster. So what you do, right, now keep in mind, you don't want them to get caught in a crossfire. You have to pick one direction, preferably, right, like where I have my villagers, right, on one side of the wall and one side of the wall, so I would have to choose between this wall and this wall, really, like, to go ahead where be comfortable with positioning them, and I chose this wall over here. So now what you want to do, right, is you're gonna have to like dig out a little hole for them, right, and then have a little like way to get them in there, right, from the side, and basically trap them in here, and that way they're looking through here and they are able to directly shoot at the iron golems going in. So now let's just demonstrate what this would look like. See, we have a bog right there, right, and then as it locks on right there, see, it goes and gives it that extra poison damage. Boom, just like that, and it goes and decreases its lifespan much further and increases your chances of spawning a faster, like it basically increases the rates of how fast your guys respawn. Now another way, right, one extra layer of difficulty and much improvement, right, is trapping another guy down here. But now again, remember, right, keep in mind, you don't want your guys to get caught in the crossfire. So this guy over here, you shouldn't be aiming at me. Well, anyway, it's very okay. Yeah, he was aiming at the guy behind me, I guess. But anyway, so you don't want this guy to be able to shoot the guy down here. I ended up, the first time I made this farm, right, I put a set of guys over here, and they ended up actually getting shot by the arrows. So you want to make sure that these guys down here are either on the side, but keep in mind, this guy might still be able to clip it if you have a bunch all the way, like an entire row like I do, which I'll show you guys in a sec, right? Yeah, then it might be able to clip these guys on the side. So the best idea, right, is to have a set of dudes down here, right, a set of bogged on this row right here. And so we're gonna go through a little clip that I have from before of going through the process of actually how to capture these guys, right? Here we go. So this is where I would normally just drop a boat. You could have a little, really give yourself a little room right here where you run in one way. He goes in, and then you get a little escape hatch on the other side. Oop. And yeah, so it seems like there you go. There's another guy right there. And I'm gonna grab this one right here, and don't forget to grab yourself a name tag, right, while you're doing this process. And another thing is that if you guys don't forget to grab your golden apples, right? But another thing is you guys want to grab your fire resistance potions, right? Fire resistance, just in case a splash potion, it turns daytime, you can go ahead and splash them and not worry about them burning in the daytime. And there is a particular reason why I'm showing you guys this exact clip, right? As I mentioned earlier, you don't want to get caught in the crossfire, and unfortunately this guy isn't really gonna make it to the end. Spoiler. Yeah, but see, luckily doing a pretty good job avoiding his arrows over here. And you want to build yourself a big old scaffolding thing right here. During this process, you're gonna want to avoid using things that might perish, like for example your happy gas, because keep in mind that guy is shooting at you non-stop. So yeah, it will probably just shoot your happy gas. I have not tried it, but if it works, you know, let me know in the comments. And yeah, it's a good thing to like sometimes switch into third person also, that way that you know that your lead's still attached. But as of late, leads have been pretty good in the update, so you don't really have to worry too much. And yeah, this has been like this is an old clip, by the way, like before a lot of work has been done here, but you guys get a good peek of what it looked like months ago. Yeah, so we're back at the industrial district here. And don't forget, you also have the momentum in the boat. You want to kind of just like do a couple circles when you're landing, just so kind of like lose the momentum, and have a little safe landing here. Now, break the boat, right? He's gonna be aggroed on you, so you can just go ahead and run down right where you're gonna store him. Just keep in mind that they, you know, once you break line of sight, they sometimes won't follow you. So like in this situation, see, I gotta like pause for a little bit and then continue going. And also another thing is that, you know, you do want to build yourself like these like coves and turns and stuff, like, so that way you know you could turn around. But again, you have to make sure that he is still chasing you. And see, you got him over here. It is a mess down here. Keep in mind that this is all because yeah, we're trying to get these guys into position, and right here is the wrong position. See, like as I mentioned before, you don't want them to get caught in the crossfire, which unfortunately, see in this clip right here, as you can see, I'm celebrating and I'm like, yes, it's finally done. This is the original ending for this video. I'm like, check it out, everybody. Woohoo! And that guy on the right there, pay close attention to him, because there he goes. Yeah, right at the last second of the video. So yes, make sure they don't get in the crossfire. You want to not position them so the guys upstairs could possibly hit the guys downstairs, right? Otherwise, you're gonna be very, very sad, like I am in this clip right here. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. So, avoid the mistake that I made. Hey, we're back on the server, so this is what it's like to get it all done in survival, right? Just wanted to show you guys. Now, see, if we have it down here, right, like, again, don't mind the mess, this is how I have them all set up. Like, you have your little escape hatches over here and there for quick escapes, just in case, you know, your health gets low. This is like how I got them in over here. And as you can see, I moved them over here to the side. Still don't have my other guy, right? Still don't have the other guy set up over here yet, because it's still open for him. But you see my little escape hatch right here when I get him in, and then the water push him into the thing, held by the pressure plate over here. And another quick tip for you guys, right? You know, obviously have a whole floor of magma over here, except for that one over there, the very source block, right? Because you don't want it to pull down over there. You want it to pull down where the item collection is going to be, you know, all items you can pushed all onto, unless you want to fill it up with hyper minecart. But yeah, anyway, long story short, another thing you got to keep in mind, right, is you want to give them line of sight. Keep in mind they're never going to actually shoot each other, because they're going to be shooting at the iron golem, right? They're going to be shooting straight, never going to shoot each other, so you don't have to worry about putting an iron bar as you saw in the video earlier. You can just put a sign over here in between to stop the fire from going in between them. Right now, they're going to be once the iron golem gets down here, they're going to go ahead and, you know, start firing at him. Well, the one thing I'm thinking about having, right, is this guy, giving him a power 5 bow, right? Because you want this guy to take him out as quickly as possible. See, like over here, that's the issue why you want kind of 2 of them, because he just ignores the guy when he comes down into that corner. Completely ignores him, but does not care about him whatsoever. You see what I mean? that corner is completely like neglected. So that's why you kind of want to, if you have them in the middle, he also just doesn't really care too much in like into a certain spot. That's why, you know, it's best to cover the whole thing. And again, you don't want him to get caught in the crossfire. Now, this guy, you want him to have a Power 5 bow, because remember they don't really can't pick up new bows. So you want him to have one when you spawn in. How can you tell? Obviously, when you take a lot of damage, you know, more damage than you would normally take from him. And the way to do that is you would probably want your game to be game difficulty to be set to hard. Try not to sleep as long as possible as well. You know, for me that's not a problem. I don't remember the last time I slept in game. Now, the other thing I have going on over here is having an on-off switch, right, for the firing squad, which kind of makes it a little bit hard when you kind of have to get them in here, because obviously they don't fit under these. You know, you're gonna have to remove them and then flake the trapdoor, and you know they easily just run over the trapdoors and you get them in here. As you can see, I have one guy that actually has the diamond armor. They can wear the diamond armor or whatever, and the rest of them don't currently. The one guy, right, this guy right here, I want, and then this guy right here in particular, I want them to have one off from the corner, right? One off from the corner. I want them to have a punch 2 bow, right? Because sometimes these guys get caught on those like little ledges, right? So that way, if they just have a power 2 bow, it'll just force him in, and then that one guy down there will start shooting at him, with attracting the attention, and then having him sink down perfectly, right on time, getting our goodies as quickly as possible. The faster they perish, keep in mind, that's the one thing that we're trying to do. Remove the iron golems out of the mob cap as quickly as possible, right? Yeah, I mean, like that's really pretty much it. So let me just show you guys with the on and off switch, right? Like if you really, if you want to decorate this area or something gone wrong or something like that, you want to not be shot at. That's kind of useful, you know what I mean? But the one thing, right, obviously, before you decorate everything and before you install, you want to set all of this up. This is just a sticky piston, glass with redstone running into like a solid block. For me, I use lights, that way I know it's on or off, you know what I mean? And yeah, pretty much just keep in mind when you're getting them in, you're obviously going to have to remove the whole thing, and yeah, and easily replace it. It's just a slab. Yeah, I mean, let me just turn these guys on for a nice little outro bit over here. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something new. I hope that helps. And if not, or if so, leave a comment. Either way, let me know. See you guys next time. Peace. See? That's why I punched Tubo. Would be a little bit more handy, because he would have just gotten pushed right off the ledge. This is what I was talking about. But, either way, it works. Yeah, but those guys right there, this guy right there, I didn't think he could reach me from here. Yeah, that guy right there, you want him to have the punch 2, and we want that guy right there to have the punch 2. Because remember, the punch 2 is the ones that are going to help have like a knockback effect.